Hello. Uh, First off, I'm very excited. If you listened to our last episode, you'll already know the big news, but I'll share it again anyway. We are back in the US. I'll obviously share some more updates soon, but for now, since we're home, we wanted to pick up some more of Norman's journals. And while everything is still calm around here, I thought I might as well read one. So please, sit back, relax, and enjoy a case file from the Journals of Norman Carter. August 3rd, 1975. It's been a while since somebody reached out to me for help, but it looks like I've got a job. I got a phone call this morning from a man named Clarence Tuffy Cable. He's been having some trouble with a big monster, and he wanted to hire my services as an exterminator. Considering I usually go after these things for free, I figured it was too good an opportunity to pass up. The drive should only take me 2 days, so hopefully I won't be leaving Judy for too long. I head out for Kentucky in the morning. August 6th. Reached Milton this afternoon, and it was easy enough to get directions to the Bluegrass Body Shop, which turned out to be a junkyard just outside of town, owned by Tuffy and his brother Garrett. The first order of business was finding out what they had seen. Tuffy saw it first. About 2.5 weeks ago, he was walking through the junkyard when a big lizard came out from behind some of the wrecked cars and started hissing at him. He said it wasn't a monitor lizard, but looked similar. Big eyes, covered in black and white stripes, and speckled. I was thinking maybe some kid's pet lizard got loose, but Tuffy said it was at least 15 feet long. I could tell the fog did a number on Garrett. Even though he doesn't remember what it looks like, Garrett was the next person to see it a few days later. He heard some rustling from a pile of old car hoods, and when he went to investigate, the creature poked its head out. He went inside to tell Tuffy, and they came back out with guns, but it was already gone. The next day, Tuffy saw it again and threw a rock at it. It ran off into the woods hissing. He went into his house to grab a rifle, came back out, and fired into the bushes. He thinks he might have hit it, but he couldn't be sure. And then, a week after that, they got in touch with me. They haven't seen it since. Apparently, they purchased some junked cars from out west, and Tuffy thinks one of the cars must have had lizard eggs in it, and one of them finally must have hatched in the heat. Wherever it came from, I need to get rid of it. This scrapyard is their livelihood. They just want to be able to work in peace without the fear of being attacked by a giant lizard. They don't care what I do with the animal, they just want to make sure the problem is handled. And I get it. I told them I'd try my best. I'll head out before dawn tomorrow. August 7th. I spent the day following Canop Creek. Haven't found anything yet, but the creek runs behind the junkyard, and the Cables thought the creature might have made its way there. The creek would probably make for a good source of fresh food. I haven't picked anything up with my sixth sense, though, so I'll keep looking for it the old-fashioned way. August 8th. It's definitely nearby, and I was right about using the creek as a food source. I found what was left of a deer carcass today, surrounded by prints. It's definitely a lizard, and it's definitely big. I need to make sure I'm not next on the menu. August 9th. It's done. I kept following the tracks, and they finally led me to the lizard around noon. Thankfully, I found it before it found me. One round, through the brain, as quick and painless as I could make it. I feel bad that I had to put it down, but this thing could have easily eaten a child. Hell, wouldn't have had a tough time eating an adult either. At least this time I got paid for the trouble. And the cables were certainly relieved. It's about the best outcome I could have hoped for. Okay, so there wasn't a ton of info out there on this one. For one thing, Milton is a small town. Like, population under 600 small. That being said, I was finally able to find an account of the so-called Milton Lizard. And yeah, the sightings basically match up with what Norman wrote. These two brothers saw a big lizard in their junkyard, and it was never seen again. Obviously, we now know why. Unsurprisingly, his sketch shows a pretty big lizard. It's around 15 feet long by the looks of it, and for comparison, Komodo dragons only get up to like 10 feet long. Mia did some research, and she's pretty confident that it was a black and white tegu. Tegu? They're a species native to South America, and their coloring matches Norman's notes pretty closely. The only difference is the size, of course. Normally, tegus only grow to around 4 feet long. But, that's cryptids for you. Apparently, they've also become a really big problem in the past few decades in Florida as an invasive species. Some people get them as pets, then they get loose, then there's enough of them to start breeding. Not only are they voracious predators, but they also kill other reptiles who are native to the area, but they don't eat them. Mia said this is called intraguild predation, and basically means that by killing the competition, the tegu have more food sources for themselves. That's crazy, right? My point being, I hate to say it, but it sounds like Norman made the right call here. Getting overrun with carnivorous lizards is one thing, but giant carnivorous lizards? Now there's a horror movie if I've ever seen one. I think that's about all I have to say for this one, though, so I'll see you all next time. Bye.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters. Find out more about us at littlegiantmonsters.com and by searching for Little Giant Monsters on social media. Every Monday after a new episode, we share a cryptid sketch, so be sure to look out for that. If you're enjoying the Cryptid Cases and want to help support us, find us on Patreon. Rewards include behind-the-scenes content, early access to episodes, and access to our Discord. A huge thanks to all our current patrons. Links to our Patreon, our merch, and other shows we're creating are all available on our website or in the description of this episode. Another way to support our work is through ratings and comments on Apple Podcasts and other podcast apps. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.